don't mind if I do.
2, 1. Next wave is inbound.
Hey everyone, what's up? This is Jags here, and we are back with another video for DarksBurg. Once again, if you guys have not already, be sure to find those Steam codes because we only have a couple of episodes left. And by a couple of episodes, I mean 2 episodes left. And then, because the very last video will have the remainder of the Steam code. And also, if you do find the Steam code, you will also win yourself a free FATSQUATCH gaming t-shirt as well. So be sure to, keep a lookout on everything. But I decided to try something a little bit newer today. And as you can tell, I am doing another voiceover on this because it was really difficult for me to do commentary work while playing this game because I was so focused on trying to, just win in general. As you'll see as the game continues, that doesn't really happen. I don't win because I need to hit to wave 20. I think the highest I got was maybe wave 11, and I think that's like the last part of this, which you'll see. But this time, I did want to do a voiceover because, like I said, it's very difficult trying to do commentary over this. So this way will be a little bit easier. But not only that, I also wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the game itself, a little bit more about the gameplay, a little bit more about my own personal thoughts and opinions on the game itself. But the way everything has been going, like I said, I do actually really enjoy playing the game overall. It is a lot of fun. My only issue with it right now, and I do have to keep in mind that it is an early access game, so there could be a lot more coming out for this game. But it does get a little too repetitive for me. I understand that indie games and top-down games in general specifically top-down games tend to be very repetitive. I was honestly really thinking it would be something a little bit, a little bit more diversity rather than just different levels and stuff like that. It seems to be the same enemies every now and then, just switched up. But like I said, it's not bad. It's just different little things. I really wish, that could be a little bit more, just different overall. Like I said, it's not bad. I just wish there was more diversity to the game. Speaking of diversity, as you can tell in this video, I am not playing as the werewolf Varag. In this one, I don't remember the character's name, to be honest with you, but I am playing as basically the brute. I thought originally this was going to work out a little bit easier for me because I thought it would deal more damage over a, I was still expecting it to be like a slower period of time for build-up, but I didn't realize the wait time for it to build up was that long, and I just overall kind of looked the wrong way, and it didn't work as well as I wanted to. So I did go through all the different characters in this video in general, once again, as you will see, because first I play as him, next I do play as Abigail, the one who has the cross right there, and then I do end up playing as the one with the crossbow as well. And then in the last episode, I do go back to playing Varag as well. And, I just wanted to see what the feel was for all the different characters. I've never played any other characters, so I thought this would be a good time to go ahead and actually do that, because they all obviously have their own different abilities. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, and I kind of wanted to test that out a little bit more, considering I have it and I've only been playing as Varag. But like I said, the brute's not bad. It's just one really, really slow as expected because he's a tank. But not only that, I mean, like, as you can see right there, it deals a great amount of damage, but the loading that you see on the bottom, whether if I have to press Q, W, E, or R, which is the special, it takes a really, really longer time to just load overall. And if you accidentally swing like I did right there, you're kind of screwed because then you have to maneuver around with him. It's a lot more difficult to maneuver with this character because he is a tank. He's not meant for speed. He's meant for brute force. And it did definitely make things a lot more difficult. Now, another thing I do want to mention as well, I am playing on normal difficulty for this video in general. And My issue with the normal, as you can see right here, I just completely, I died. I didn't get that far. I think it was only wave 7 or 8, something like that. But yeah, for the normal difficulty, it's not normal difficulty. It is way too hard. The training mode on this is normal. Normal is hard, and hard is really hard. Really hard is just, well, you do the math. It's not fun. I've tried that once out of curiosity. I did that off screen just to see what it would be like, and I regret everything. I barely made it through even the first couple of waves. Yeah, I made it through wave 1. Wave 2 was a little bit easier. I almost died there, and then I think I died at like wave 3, so I'm never doing that again. Unless I get my characters built up tremendously, which in that case, it seems like building up the characters in general takes a very, very long time to do. I don't know if, depending on what character you choose to play the game with, if it actually acts faster based upon any perks or skills they might already have or contain. That I don't know 100%. But from based upon what I've been seeing overall playing the game, it doesn't seem to be that way at all. So I just really wish that the normal difficulty was not so difficult. I played the first 3 games. This is the second one you're seeing right now, since I am playing as Abigail. But yeah, the first 2 were very, very difficult. I got around to about the same wave, about I think 7 or 8, until I'd completely lost it. And the fact that I have to go to 20 makes things a million times more difficult too, so it really doesn't help. So if the developer takes in mind and possibly into consideration on maybe, you know, kind of doling it down a little bit as far as the difficulty goes, or maybe if there's just something overall that I am missing, that you have some kind of hints or certain skills or tactics that I can figure out that I don't know about, I would greatly appreciate that, because I've been trying a lot of stuff and it doesn't really seem to be working out that well for me. Normal difficulty, I shouldn't struggle to get, you know, close to wave 11, for example, and I don't get anywhere near that. The highest I get was, I think, maybe 8, and 9 might be pushing it. I think it was 8, like, the medium was 8. But, you know, like I said, overall, I tried going through everything. I mainly tried playing on this version. Normally, it's just I'm playing normal maps and going ahead and really just playing the overall story. Well, if there is a story, I don't really know about that. But I'm just playing the normal maps. Normally, you're able to buy things and everything. Obviously, this one is a normal wave defense. Try to obviously get to, once again, wave 20. But, you know, I tried this because it was something new. Like I said, I've tried it before, but I only really originally played it on training mode, and it was a little bit easier. I think the highest I've ever gotten on training mode was actually closer to 15, 16. I still couldn't make it to 20, which is kind of crazy. But yet again, I was only playing as Virag. It seems in this one I was doing significantly better as Abigail, because her skills and movesets seem to be a little bit more fluid and a little bit more, I guess, just sleeker in a sense. Like, they just come naturally to me. Obviously, it also helps that I understand the controls and the fact that there's really technically only 3 controls, including R, but you don't get R to, you know, unless you kill a decent amount of enemies, and it takes a long time to build up as well. Which is something else I really wish, you know, once again, this can go both ways. So the first one, I really wish there was just a way in general for the R to build up a little bit quicker. Obviously, I know that will probably be a lot easier when I level up the characters, which is what I would imagine. But that's still something I have to find out. But, you know, if it doesn't do that, then the R should at least have a quicker build-up time in general. Maybe not for all characters, but maybe specifically for one, once again, based upon skill sets and everything like that as well. But I think the main reason why I really like playing this character, when you hit E, it does that spin attack move, and it deals a great amount of damage, which is just fantastic, because I can kill a lot of enemies, as you can see right here. When you do hit, I believe it was W, yeah, it sets down that bell right there, which just alerts all enemies and draws all enemies towards everywhere within that circle and that radius. Which does come in handy because if you do need to heal or something, you can quickly lay that down, go to the other side, heal yourself up or anything along the lines of that. And then for Q, it gives you that really good leap. So if you are trapped in a gigantic horde of enemies, you do have the ability to really rush yourself out of there. Unfortunately, when you do use all of your skills, like I did right here, you quickly end up falling to your death. And it seems like every time you go down, your AI partners are worthless, it seems like, and you just instantly die, like you see right here. That's what I kept on experiencing without all characters. If you go down, there's been a couple of times where they are able to pick you back up, obviously to pick up the AI, or for the AI to pick up myself. In this case, it would be the F key, which is good, but I don't know if there's a certain limit of times you can pick up a partner. That I really don't know, but it seems like that a little bit more when I go down and the AI just acts like they have no idea what they're doing, which kind of bothers me because there's no skill set or like what difficulty the AI could be on for enemies or even the AI for my team. Well, I mean, for the difficulty for the enemies, I mean, you have your easy, normal, and hard, or whatever else is after that. But for my partners in general, I don't know if that's also based upon what level you got them to, depending on how many times you played that character, once again, how much you leveled them up, or if it's just random and it's just like one set difficulty level for AI. That I don't really know for sure. Once again, there's, you know, I understand this game is still in development. There's still a lot I do not know about this game in general. There's a lot I'm still trying to learn. But, you know, these are a lot of questions I definitely do have because I feel like if there was a little bit more diversity in the game, if there was a little bit more fluidity in the gameplay itself, and everything just wasn't like truly just a cluster of like nonsense going on at me, it would make things a lot easier. Now, I know, once again, there are different techniques, and you have to be a little bit more observant in what you do and where you move, and really take into consideration where the enemies are spawning from. Try to figure out where are they going to horde around your characters and yourself as well. So it definitely seems like for the character I'm using right now for the crossbow, she's definitely a lot quicker. As you can see, she can move around a lot easier. But my only issue with this is it doesn't really seem to be dealing a great amount of damage. That move I did right there, I believe that was the E move, I believe. No, not E. I only have Q and W. I just don't have E. I guess I have to unlock that, which is actually using the crossbow. Which kind of is annoying to me because why would you have your players you know, use a character that has a crossbow but you can't use your crossbow? Doesn't make any sense. For me personally, I feel like I would want the option to use my crossbow because if I'm going to be an archer, I want to be able to shoot enemies from a long distance, as archers or anyone who uses crossbows in general should. I shouldn't use whatever W is just throwing something at them and it hurts them. But the other downside I've seen to using the W skill as well is you can hurt yourself with it as well, which doesn't really make much sense to me, because why would you have a skill specifically set for that character that it can damage yourself at the same time? Unless there was, you know, an enemy that was attacking me during the time I threw that. I don't know. I don't know how much damage it deals over an amount of time because it doesn't tell you. That actually brings up another good point. You can't really see, you know, there's obviously a health bar on top of the enemies and everything like that, and you can see everything, their health going down, as well as you can see from mine. and the my AI partners here. But the only other issue is I wish there were like numbers above your head as well to really describe and really tell the player, be like, hey, this is the amount of health you are losing per second, or how much health you have, you know, in general left. I don't think the bar overall above my head does all the justice that it should, because when you get really into the gameplay, you are not focusing on that as much as you really should be, or that the players should be aware of. I definitely do think if we are, you know, if the developer ends up choosing to keep the bars on here, I definitely do think there should be some numbers popping up. Like if I threw, if I used the skill set W and I threw it on the enemies, I want to see something like damage 5, damage 5, damage 5, damage 5, something along the lines of that. I also don't know if there's any specific for that move you saw right there, where it has the gigantic purple right there. Yeah, that thing. I don't know if any of my characters have that skill set to slow down other characters. I don't know. But from what I've seen, no, unless I have to unlock them once again, which in that case is just a huge hassle because it takes a really, really long time to level up these characters. And even when you do, it still seems like almost a more of a very unnecessarily just overdrawn challenge almost. It shouldn't feel like a challenge overall to level up your characters within reason and within respect, because obviously being a top-down game, you're going to have to overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of different, you know, challenges and whatever the game mode provides for you. Now, obviously, this has all been played on the wave defense on co-op, so I don't know if any other game modes do anything different. So as you can see there, my archer has fallen into the dark abyss that is death, and death truly is inevitable. You cannot escape from it, especially in this specific mode. Now, in this one, I am still playing normal mode, but this time I am playing as Varag, since I leveled up Varag the most, because he was the only other character I really played in general. And I remember playing Varag last time when I was playing the training mode, and which actually, speaking of that as well, before I continue on with that, I really thought training mode would really just stand out and be like, hey, and actually teach you how to, you know, it's basic, like, top-down point and click, like, where you want to go. I get that. A lot of stuff is very self-explanatory. But I wish there was kind of different techniques in little, like, tips and stuff, and be like, hey, you have to do this. Reminder to do this when this happens. Once again, I don't know. That's just me. I know not everyone's going to agree with that, because everyone's be like, look, man, Jags, look, this is a very basic common sense game. Yeah, but if it was a common sense game, then, you know, quote unquote gamers like myself should be able to do it without any issues. I think, you know, once again, everything is in early access and early development. So maybe based upon everything I'm saying might come into consideration from the developer, and be like, you know what, let's actually go ahead and give that a try. Have there been any specific test studies for this game as far as user experience after the UI went ahead and actually implemented everything they did into the game? Since this is an early access, if for some reason a developer does end up watching this, if you need any more feedback, or you would like some more opinion, because obviously you want your game to be played by everybody regardless of their skill level. I believe that's how games should be played. If people need tips, then maybe throw in some tips. Maybe not a whole lot, but maybe very specific ones. Maybe kind of describe a little bit more in-game about, you know, the skills you have. Why am I not able to use certain skills based upon certain times? There's a lot of different things you can do overall in this game to really go ahead and help improve it, but once again, like I said, I don't know if they are necessary. Now for things like this, I know it's going to be based upon character once again and leveling up, but it's very difficult after a while, which, I mean, level 5 is nuts. Like, this is a lot of enemies, and based upon the amount of AI that come after you and the response time for your skills to kind of build back up quicker, you know, I understand there's a market and like a store within the game. You can buy stuff based upon the amount of money you have. I get that. You can buy potions and stuff to help yourself out. The one thing that does bother me is you don't get that in this level. It just gives it to you, which I feel like that needs to be really tinkered with and played around with a little bit more. I do feel like it has great potential. I just do definitely believe, in my own personal opinion, there's a lot that can be done to really boost everything up, to really help everything kind of appeal more towards whatever your target audience or your niche audience overall is going to be like, you know what, yeah, this is actually going to work out great. And I don't know, like I said, these are just all things that are just coming to my head right now as I'm watching the video. I originally tried doing a normal playback on the video after the recording. I used DaVinci Resolve for anyone who is interested in what editing software I do use to edit out all of my gear. Well, my gear, that doesn't make any sense. All my videos. Well, my videos are my gear, because without that, then I would be kind of... Yeah, there would be no videos. But we do also use NVIDIA GeForce Shadow Play to actually use the window capture. Once again, not sponsored by any of them. Sponsor us, please, because I love your products tremendously. And also, just a huge shout out to both of you guys for supplying people with, like, free products in general that just work amazing, especially for more professional level. You know, Blackmagic does offer different... you know, they have a paid version too for the more advanced, which eventually I'll be getting into. But, you know, getting back into this game is just so hard, man. Like, check this out. Immediately, my AI was completely useless right there. It didn't work out as well. Oh, sorry. My apologies. I didn't use Virag in the very last part of this episode. I did use Abigail because I did like the layout of her character a lot better. I'm only standing right here because I'm just trying not to take any damage or anything like that, and I'm thinking maybe it'll just help me overall. I am in training mode right now. Once again, training mode is not training mode. Training mode, they just label as, or for what I see as, just easy mode. Yeah, it definitely is easy mode, but easy mode is still normal mode, and normal mode is hard, and hard is just insane. Training, I really expected when I first started up this game that training mode, it would actually give me little hints and tips, but it didn't do that. Now it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going blind into the game. Now, I understand if you go into the options menu and everything, you can learn the different controls if, for whatever reason, you need to. Obviously, when you start up the game, you have the option to go into your profile for your characters, learn a little bit more of the backstory, you know, and learn a little bit more about your characters overall and their skill sets and their moves and what you can upgrade and everything. But I don't think that is 100% enough. Once again, that is just me. I don't know if anyone else will agree. But, you know, if anyone who has this game for early access, or for anyone who is about to, in the future, win the Steam code in order to win this game for free, and you do end up playing it, please let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on this game. Do you agree with what I have to say? Do you disagree? Do you think there's different ways to really help improve different implementations for the developer to go ahead and create in this game over the period of time where this is no longer in early access but in full development, and for, you know, everyone to play regardless if it's full story? I actually kind of really do wish there was a full story mode. I want some kind of background, like, why am I doing this? Like, seriously, I'm just kind of going around and just killing enemies. Why? I understand I'm just killing zombies and stuff, but, like, where are the zombies coming from? Was there an infection? Was there a disease that went on, happened? Like, what's... what's the reason? What's the true background story between each character? How do they meet each other? Like, I would like a little bit of folklore, especially for this being more of like a quote unquote medieval kind of game. So I want a little story towards it. Every good medieval story, hence the word story, needs a good backstory, in my opinion. Throw in a little lore in there. Even if you have to do that in like the intro, be like, all right, this is how everything went down. Maybe a trailer video, specifically for the game to, announce that too. I think all these things could be very, very interesting. But when I first started up this game, it was more of just like, all right, here you go, play. And I'm like, but okay, yeah, I'll go right into the game because obviously I'm going to play the game. But like, what's going on? Why am I doing this? Where are all these creatures coming from? How do these other, like, what's the point of like the Crow Master or whatever? Like, why does that exist? The brutes and the different like zombie enemies and everything, I can understand that within reason, but like, where do the crow guys come in from? Like, are they just random characters? Do they have a backstory themselves? And even that, and it's just like, maybe for each character, once again, have their backstory, and it's just like, there's all these like really cool things I think that could maybe not really benefit obviously the gameplay, but just a little bit more based upon describing to potential players and new players, which I really hope there are a lot more new players after this, because like I said, if new things that I say end up getting implemented into this game, just to test it out, get some kind of thing going on there. Maybe Shiro Games, if you end up having like a Discord server, for example, I want to join. I want to be able to talk to you about some different techniques and thoughts and theories on what you might end up doing with the game, different ways to implement it, whatever your ideas. And I would absolutely love the chance to, potentially work with you for brand new ideas and everything, because this game, like I said, I'm not a huge fan overall, per se, for top-down games in general, but this one does have potential. Now, I don't know if you want this specifically to only be a top-down game, but I think it'd be really cool if you implemented in a sense, a way to zoom in a little bit more to the characters. Maybe not necessarily like first person, but there's certain games you can play that if you use a scroll wheel, for example, more of like an MMO style, if you're looking for, I don't know, maybe like World of Warcraft, or one specifically that I play called Perfect World, I technically do see those a little bit more as a top-down in a sense. I can be completely wrong with there, but I'm sorry, I do label those in a sense top-down because I am seeing them from the top down. But if you use a scroll wheel, for example, maybe you can scroll in a little bit closer to get a little bit more detail of like the characters, maybe show character development as well, like the overall layout of each character and stuff like that, different animation styles, stuff like that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just throwing out a lot of ridiculous ideas out there, but I just want to see a little bit more in this game as it continues to grow from early access, because once again, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but like, this game has a lot of potential. I just want to see it grow. I want to help it grow because I love helping out developers with ideas. I study user experience in general for video games and stuff like that, and I'm all self-taught, but like, I love studying this kind of thing in general, like what do users really want to see in a video game, maybe going further down in like the studies and everything like that. I want to see how people interact with the game. What are they frustrated with? What do they like? What are the minor things in the game that people don't like or do like in general? It's something I've always just really enjoyed doing overall. And for anyone who is an indie developer, if you're trying to get your name out there, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to help you out, because that's another reason why I do what I do. I love helping people get noticed. I want to see your art improve. I want to see your art like shine in general. I understand what it's like to try and get your artwork out there. It's not easy. So in this case, I really want to help you guys. But as you can see, I made it to wave 11 there, and that was really just the end of it. I did not make it any further. It's really difficult to get to level 20. But since we only have a couple of, about another 45 seconds here, I really just want to take this time to once again for Shiro Games for supplying FATSQUATCH with DarksBurg in general, and for FATSQUATCH for helping out Red Jegs here with this fantastic DarksBurg giveaway video series as well. But that's pretty much all the time we have for today, so thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.